Hey, you guys, here I am, braless and uncombed, sitting here in my nightgown. So much stuff has happened that I just want to talk about it a little bit. My name is Suzanne Titkemeyer. I wrote for Pathos for almost 10 years. I had No Longer Quivering for over 10 years. Now I'm just doing my own thing. For a while, I was really heavily engaged in the KJ thing. Not anymore. I've taken a step back, but it's hard to take a step back when there's so much stuff going on. I just watched Renelle Smith's video, and I like Renelle, number one, but I think she makes a good point. All the stuff that's going on right now with Little Miss Noble, with Nat, with all the accusations against Saltz and others, I think we just need to sit back and let that work out. We just need to, instead of speculating and armchair detecting, we just need to let that go. Let it go. And I was thinking about that a lot this morning because yesterday morning at 5 a.m. something, Recon Devea, one of the volcanoes here, blew up. I mean, it just kaboom, it blew up. And I'm always saying that in the natural, there are things that happen that are representative of things elsewhere. I always see that. Maybe it's my mind trying to work it out. Like, a lot of times people will see stuff like they will see faces, trees, and various things. Maybe my mind is just going there. But when I see something happening like the volcano happening at the same time as the community going nuts, I have to say, I think it's symbolic in some weird sort of psychic way. So the volcano has blown up. It's not too far from Liberia, which is not too far from us. And I'm going to have to go out there and beat up a wiener dog that has somehow gotten through my gate. Anyway, just push him out the door, I guess, is what I'll do. I got dog treats. I'll have to lure him out. I have way too many cats here to ever have a dog inside the fence. Okay, back to the community. So, yeah, I know everything is being said by Little Miss Noble. I watched Amanda Pan's video the other day. I like Amanda. I like Amanda. She has a very balanced view. She's a former child abuse investigator, so I know she has her feet on the ground. She's grounded and educated. I did social work for some years myself, so I know a little bit about what her training was and where she's going with her thought processes on a lot of this stuff. So I saw her live the other day, and I gotta agree with her. I think we just need to sit back and see where this goes. I don't think it's helpful to publish this stuff. I've had people approach me on the net thing and give me the exact same info that Mandapan's got. And I chose to do exactly what I chose to do when I had somebody that contacted me that said they were a former coworker of Without a Box of Kleenex. I listened to their story. I couldn't verify it, so I just filed it in the middle top drawer. So there's that. There's the insanity of people claiming they're going to sue. There's other people claiming other things. I'm just kind of sitting back going, because it's just all insane, and it's the internet too, so you really can't get too caught up in this stuff, and I try not to get too caught up in it anyway. And that was one of the reasons that I decided to take a step back from all of this, because I could hear myself, see myself, feel myself getting just drugged deeper and deeper emotionally and mentally in this. It's not a healthy place for anybody, in my opinion. I think if you go down the rabbit's hole, it can really harm you in your brain and put some stuff on you. Steve McRae days ago gave me all the documents about him and Without a Box of Kleenex, and I read through that, and at the time I said, damn, I wish I hadn't said I wasn't going to talk about her anymore, because I would so read these things and discuss them. Other people have now. Steve's documents, I've seen them. I saw his documents from his court case with her. They are wild. So I would recommend you go watch Aaron, EKC, People Suck, and Chesh. They did a live stream where they read the documents, they went over them. I would point you there. That's the only thing that's been coming out lately that I will believe, and only because I can see the legal documents and I can see that they are actually real. This isn't something that somebody photoshopped up, like many of the different messages that were going around the community were all photoshopped. This isn't one thing or another. Yesterday I took the chance and I asked without a box of Kleenex why she'd never apologized to me, and told her, she had just apologized for wrongdoings at various parts. The community wouldn't be going after her. This wouldn't even be a thing. And she just started circling around to victimhood again. And I just blocked her yet again because I don't want any part of her and her victimhood. It's just wrong. It's just wrong all the way around. I'm hoping this is the absolute last time, but there's so much insanity happening right now. There's so much hot lava being flung. There's so much volcanic ash, figurative volcanic ash and lava being flung. And here's the thing. I think that the danger is that it really can really hurt other people. That's the problem, is people get hurt, especially with volcanic lava. I always like to use the lava scenario for people being unexpectedly hurt by somebody that they trusted, and the person turns around and unloads on them, just completely unloads on them, and they're covered with the lava. So the other person's like, skippy, skippy, yippy, skippy, peanut butter. I'm fine. I unloaded. And the person who was unloaded on is just covered with burning lava. Lava just continues to burn them for a long time until they get it off or they die. I think that with accusations, it's that way. I had an accusation the other day that came against me that just it blew my mind. And I tell you, super damn hurtful. And that was the reason why I started talking about clothing in Costa Rica. Julie Virgo, who I've never had a real beef with her. She blocked me when I had my disagreement with Charlotte, and my disagreement with Charlotte was so tiny that I just thought that was silly, but whatever. You're not going to be everybody's cup of tea, and that's fine. That's genuinely really fine if you're not someone's cup of tea. Big deal. So you're not. So I've never really had a beef with her in any way, shape, or form. I've always thought kindly about her. I've never really spoken about her except to apologize one time when I did say something that was a little rude. I apologized within 24 hours. I try to do that. I try not to keep real long grudges going. The KJ one was a huge, huge exception for me for some months. But I find it's easier just to apologize and move on. It benefits you. You don't have any kind of hostility towards whomever. And if they have a hostility towards you still, that's on them at that point. It becomes their problem. So anyway, Julie apparently had been telling Ren behind the scenes, she'd been calling me Suzanne Saggy Tit Kmeyer, which I guess that's a play on words. Ren shouted this out during one of his lives. And I got to tell you, I was really, really hurt. Why? Well, this is something I've struggled with my entire life, having big boobs. I just have. I have D cups. At one time, I had double Ds when I was younger. My entire life has been a struggle to be taken seriously by men because I had large boobs. Still to this day, I have old men trying to look down my blouse if I have my bra on and everything pushed up. It's just been the struggle of my life. Sometimes I've used that struggle. If you're in a meeting and you're trying to be serious, you're trying to have everybody take you seriously, and the guy to your right is trying to look down your blouse, it's just mind-boggling. You just do not know, especially in quiverful churches. So many times I would be told that I was immodest. And I would start questioning people, knowing that I had sleeves on, that I had up to my collarbone blouse neckline, which I don't wear that anymore. And it would come out eventually that if your boobs are big, men are going to look, and that's immodest. So basically, you are sentenced to wearing what is basically a croaker sack, something big enough to obscure the line of your boobs. And that was just never me. I didn't run around with my blouse cut to my navel. I never did that. But I went through that for years at the Quiverful Church. Years and years of this, being told that I was immodest because my boobs are large. And it was very hurtful. So then to find out that Julie is talking trash about me for something I can't even help. I'm 61 years old. I have D cups. If I take my bra off, my boobs are going to sag. I mean, that is just the reality of aging. That is aging in time. I mean, and I live in a place where it's routinely close to 100 degrees every single day. If I'm not running to the bank or running to the doctor's office or something, I generally won't wear a bra. And that's not a problem here because nobody else does. And everybody sags. I spent so many years being ashamed of my boobs and being like this, and I'm no longer. I've had breast cancer. I have little blue dots on my boobs to show where to shoot the radiation. I also have an incision line right here, an incision line right here, an incision line right here. So I'm saluting my girls today because they've survived a lot. And like I said, I generally tried to minimize and deflect for years what was going on with men hitting on me for stupid reasons. When I sold cars for about 2 years when I couldn't get a real job anywhere else, it was kind of comical because I could wear a blouse with a slight bit of cleavage and stand out by the road in the dealership because they would push you out if you were a salesperson to stand on that lot. I could be out there with big hair, makeup, and a small amount of cleavage, and men would stop and talk to me at the dealership. And it was actually a good tool to work somebody into buying a vehicle, and I used it again and again. It's wrong. I know it's wrong, but at the time, let me tell you something. That was a crappy place to work. Selling cars is hard work in the fact that you're competing against everybody else in the dealership. It is the ultimate in a competitive and nasty work environment. How nasty is it? You would have things. I was the only woman working there, so I would routinely come back to find my coat balled up under a chair or things pushed off my desk. At one point, I came back and they had my pantyhose and my tampons strung around my office because I always kept an extra pair of pantyhose and an extra box of tampons in my desk. So I surely did not mean to go off and rant about that. I'm just going to come right out and say it. I don't care if YouTube spanks me. It was a shit show. I hope that it would change by now, but this was years ago when it was not a very woman-friendly place at all. And so at that point, I decided to use my boobs for sales. And it worked out. It worked well. I didn't even have to wear that low of a blouse. That's one thing I've talked about a lot. I would love to have a reduction. I'm going to say thank you, Julie Virgo, because you have pushed me to start looking into getting a reduction. It's something I've talked about for years. I've wanted a reduction. I've wanted to go down to B cups for many years. And I'm in Costa Rica, where Costa Rica medical tourism is a huge, huge, huge thing. So it's so much cheaper. So I have a consult soon with a plastic surgeon. Why? Well, let me tell you, having D cups gives you one hell of a backache. So I think I'm going to check into it. And if it's reasonable here, I may have it done. I may end up with D cups up to my chin, B cups up to my chin. Oh, not up to my chin, but at least higher. And that would be the best thing of all. And I may have scar revision again, which I've had several times, the cancer scars removed. have the blue dots removed. Oh my God, I would love to get rid of those stupid things and have all new boobs. That would be the best. So thank you, Julie Virgo, for the ugly things you said about me to Real Entertainment News, because you have pushed me to go look into doing the thing that I've wanted to do for many, many years now. And this is just part of the whole toxic thing that I'm talking about with the community. I'm still talking to some of my friends in the community, and I always will. I try not to talk ever about without a box of Kleenex in those. So I'm trying not to, and it's really hard because the other day when she starts saying we, I have to say the royal we. I see we're using the royal we now. And it's just really difficult if you're used to it for a full year. My conversation with her yesterday was just so revealing. I said very little to her, and she said, blog pages back. She is so locked into the victimization thing that there is nothing we can say to her or say about her that is going to make her change her mind. She's threatening to sue everybody and their brother right now, including me. Go for it. I mean, if you think that you have been defamed, but know that if you do that, people are going to turn around and do the same thing to you, people who have been defamed. And she has defamed me a number of times now. So that's all I wanted to say. I hope that I never have to talk about her again. I would rather talk about volcanoes and old jobs, old crazy jobs I've taken, because I have a crazy job history because I'm married to a guy who sometimes there were things that have happened that I had to take off and not work for 6 months because of him, because of me, various things. So it was really hard to have a consecutive career. He's coming home today, folks. Y'all, I'm getting ready to get dressed and go pick him up at the Liberia airport. I've been sitting on pins and needles for a couple of things because he's 69. He's maybe not as detail oriented as he used to be. And with Costa Rica and the lockdown and everything going on with the COVID thing here, you have to jump through some mighty big hoops to come back into the country. And I've taken care of that from here, but he has to be the one that's showing them the QR code from his Pass de Salud, his health pass to get back in. He's going to have to be the one to show them his tickets, all of that to get past Immigrazione. So I'm a little nervous about that. Nervous enough where I'm going to bring my laptop to the airport just in case it peels and says, "Oh my God, they're holding me up." Blah blah blah. Can you pull the QR code again and send it to me? I have to be able to do that. I've always said, and my father used to say, especially my father would say this, and my husband is the nutty professor. He really is. He is brilliant. He speaks a pile of languages. Man, I struggle with English. And my primary foreign language is German. I speak some Spanish, but still I have the problem that when I go to speak Spanish, German pops out. It's my brain thinks that's a primary foreign language that I have. So anyway, long story short, he's not very good about details or practical. He just is not. He's gotten better since he's been here and I've been sick, and he's had to pick up more and more of the practical. He's gotten better at it, way better. I should show you the concrete walks around my between my little garden things and the concrete around I have a potting table that has a sink and all that. That was his idea. And it makes my life immeasurably easier while I can't walk. So he has started to do better, but I'm going to have to let go. And this started with me making everything work perfectly for him when we were part of a quiverful church. And I've had a real hard time putting that down. That's just something that I struggle with because I'm the worrier and he's the Mr. Da, 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 da. So there's that. I worried when the volcano exploded yesterday because one of the realities is volcanic ash is heavy. If there's enough volcanic ash in the atmosphere, they cancel flights here. Recon de Veo apparently did not have that bad of a explosion to shut down flights. But I think if it continues to spew ash in the air, it may well happen that they shut down the airports, and that would really be a bad thing for everybody around here, except for us. I would not have to stumble over tourists anymore. Damn tourists. Nah. I only do that during high season in Tamarindo when the tourist traffic and trade is such that you can't even walk down the street or get anywhere near the beach. Take Panama City during spring break and multiply that. That is Tamarindo when the tourists are here. I try not to hate on them, but it's really hard. But they have their amusing spots too. Like twice I've seen crazy golf cart accidents. I saw one golf cart accident that happened right in front of me when I was driving through Tamarindo. It was a golf cart made for like 6 people, and there were like 10 or more on that cart. And one guy was standing on the back of the cart, hanging onto the pole. He was jumping on and off, and he was doing like gymnastics and flips and crap. You know what happened? He was real drunk. He fell off. He fell off, and he landed on my. He fell off, and he landed on my hood, and then rolled off and rolled across the other lane of traffic. He damn near got run over by cars. So that happened. That was pretty interesting. And you know, they say the Lord watches after fools and little children. I think he hit the fool button. The other thing that was really pretty funny was I was driving along one day and a golf cart, again, full of people, full of North Americans, it looked like. They took a turn too fast. And we had some crazy, wicked, like, turns. Instead of being a turn like this, it's a turn like this, or a turn like that, a turn like that. They took one of those turns too fast, and they all came falling out like bowling pins. I know it's bad to laugh at this stuff, but I laughed because it was like, boo. Again, they were all intoxicated. Again, not a soul was injured. There must be something about being drunk that just protects you when you have these things, I guess. I don't know. The first one I was freaking out over. The second one I laughed because they fell out on a dirt road. And yeah, so I see that stuff all the time. And then I have the Ticos that make me laugh because they have silly stuff like you can see a whole family, mama, daddy, 6-month-old baby, toddler, and elementary age child on a 150cc motorcycle. They're all on there. And sometimes they're carrying stuff. Sometimes you'll see stuff like I saw 2 grown men and 3 ladders on a little teeny tiny one going down the major road there in front of the Liberia airport. Because I was looking at that one going, how does that work? So many times you'll see crazy things. There's a group that I've joined called What the Fuck Costa Rica on Facebook that posts some of the funniest things I've seen. It's always something crazy happening here. And I was telling somebody last night, I was telling one of my friends that came over to swim because we have a big pool and we have a lot of friends that don't have pools. I told her, she was talking about DC traffic and she was talking about the Bay Tunnel traffic, the Chesapeake Bay Bridge tunnel traffic, which can get gnarly, and the traffic going north of Virginia Beach and the other tunnel can get gnarly and horrible and backed up, and you can sit for hours. Because I used to talk about hopping in my car in Culpeper and driving down to Virginia Beach for the day with my kids. I taught them how to surf that way. Well, at least boogie board when they were littler. So we would do that, and it was backed up. But I told her, I said, as backed up as traffic used to get on the tunnels, it ain't nothing compared to some of the crazy things you see here in Costa Rica and some of the crazy drivers. You got your Paradas that are always in and out of the traffic, and their cars are usually pretty beat up, and you can tell they don't really give a F if you ram their car. Those guys, there's giant buses everywhere that are just driving like maniacs. There's people on bicycles. There's people on little tiny mini bikes. There's people on big motorcycles. You name it. And everybody is just doing like this, and nobody's paying any attention, paying any attention to the no pass zone or any of that. They're paying no attention at all. And you're going, Dear Heavenly Father, please help me not to run over somebody today. So you guys, I got to go. I got to get dressed. I got to go to Walmart in Liberia and pick up a few things before I pick up Jim at the airport, because I know he is going to be tired and want to go straight home. So I got to do my, hey, I'm hitting Liberia and picking up everything I need first instead of last. So I hope this doesn't go like the last time I picked him up. I went out to the car and it was dead. I had to rush to get a rental car because the guys across the street came over and looked at it for me. I can't even think of that guy's name right this second. He came over and looked. He and his cousins, because they work on cars, and they couldn't figure out what it was. So I had to bum a ride into Tamarindo very quickly to get to Economy Rent-A-Car, where our friend works, and pick up a car and then drive out to get Jim. And I was driving the speed of light. I've never driven so fast in Costa Rica and scared the crap out of myself and everybody else. So we're hoping the car works today. If not, I got a second one out there, really trashed up, old, like a 31-year-old Jeep type vehicle I could drive if I absolutely had to. I try not to because it turns like I've ridden on mules that were easier, that were easier to control and not as bumpy as that car. So anyway, you guys have a great day. I just wanted to sound off and say, let's try not to get too agitated about anything being done and said in the community and just let it play out. I still trust Saltz. Why do I trust him? I trust him because he's a lawyer with a good reputation. I've only seen one thing against him, and that was when he was playing Not in My Backyard over some homeless thing I think they wanted to do. And some people with the homeless community and the help community in Los Angeles hate his guts over that. I don't know enough about it to hate his guts over it or not, but I'm just throwing that out there as something that I've seen said against him that seems kind of petty from some years back. Anyway, you guys have a good day. I got to put clothes on and go somewhere, and I got to put on a bra, as much as I don't like doing that. See you guys later.